Hello everyone, welcome back to the Creative Shelf. You are joining me on a very dry, cold day in Brussels. It's cloudy and I think we're going to have snow in 2 or 3 days' time. Welcome to new subscribers, welcome back to those who already know me. So yes, it's 33 Fahrenheit. Yes, around 1 Celsius. So yeah, it's nippy, and a special shout out to anybody who's in Northwest Europe that is facing the conditions we're at right now, which is a winter without heating. So if you're out there, you're facing challenges, just want to say, wish you a lot of courage, wish you a lot of kind of like power and healing. It is a difficult time, and you're not alone basically, so just know that. And if you're someone that's in that situation, just know my videos, my channel is all about work with what you've got. You don't need to buy anything else. If you don't have those funds, that's fine. This is about fun, but fun shouldn't be done at the expense of our health, putting ourselves in distress, and taking care of ourselves in terms of our mental health and well-being and our stability. So I just want to say that, especially because we are facing some really challenging times. I have heard that there will be another hike in the next few weeks when it comes to our utilities, our basics, our food and groceries. Of course, if you're Benelux, you know how challenging that can be, especially when it comes to food. So I just want to say a special shout out to anybody who's facing those times, that, I wish you a lot of healing and that you're not alone. Okay, so without further ado, let me go on to this week's, this video, which is the deep dive that I did in November. So yes, indeed, as you can know from the title, it is the Tarot-of-the-Abyss. If you're following me on Insta, you know how much I have used this deck and loved it and just had a lot of joy working with it. I did the Lionhearts challenge, and I did the ones where it was the suits revisited. So we worked with a suit a week and then the major arcana. So it's been fun and it's been good to use this deck. I bought this actually at the end of 2021 because it was so difficult to get this deck originally in 2021 when it was first released. It went out of stock. There was a huge botch up with US Games. They recalled all of their pre-orders that were made in Europe. A complete mess. And then finally, when it came back into stock at the end of last year, I snapped it up at Book Depository. I know that sometimes it goes in and out of stock in Europe. It is sometimes challenging. If you're in Germany, I heard from one of my German viewers, not German viewers, sorry, a person based in Germany, that it was sometimes at ridiculously high prices. So, I feel you if you're in that situation. All I can say is keep an eye out. Again, as I said in the intro, I never ever encourage people to buy at ridiculous prices. If you feel that the price is not really comfortable for what you would spend on a deck or what you think is the value of that deck, wait, or see if you can get a secondhand copy or whatever, but it's just not worth it, So yeah, so I managed to get this around the €25 mark. I don't know, I think it's around that price right now. This is a US Games deck. It is mass market. The author and the artist is Turian. She also did the Oracle of Echoes, and which was an indie deck. I still think it's still in print as an indie deck, although I don't know. I think sometimes it's available, sometimes it's out of stock. There's certain editions done. I just had this deck by this author and this creator, and I was really happy to get it. Now, normally I'm not a black and white girl. So when I first saw this deck coming out from US Games, I was like, skeptical, not sure. Then there was the huge hype, and I have to say that the hype put me off buying the deck. I was like, when something gets really, really, really overhyped to the point where it feels a bit ridiculous, I'm kind of like, yeah, so I waited because I didn't want to buy something jumping on the bandwagon. So that was part of it. So these are the backs. It is a black and white deck, as I've just mentioned. And yes, it is available on mass market. Now, just so you know that I bought this and then I was like, what am I going to pair it with? Because I'm not somebody that has lots of black and white stuff. Well, at the time I didn't. Now it's building up. But I bought it and I thought, what a gorgeous card. deck. And I bought it because I had seen some images and I thought the artwork was stunning. You know, I say that, but it was stunning. It was just beautiful. It's got this very fae vibe, witchy vibe. The sketch drawings are just, you know, they're so well done. I thought it would be a cold deck, and it actually surprised me. It was very evocative. I found it very emotional. I don't find it too busy. I think that the artist has done a great job in really conveying the artwork in a very, how can I put it, in just in a great way. You know, it was just, it jumped out at me. I think that the artwork in this deck is just, it's just very clear. It's what some people would call a sharpshooter deck. And what I found interesting was that the more I worked with it, hold on a minute, the more I worked with it, the more I started to realize that this deck has a voice of her own. I'm calling her she, but she has a voice and it's very clear. I didn't find any of the images difficult to work with. It wasn't kind of like, oh, I wonder what it's trying to tell me. Nothing like that. Immediately it jumped at me what it wanted to say, yet the images were unique. So it's an RWS, you know, system, but I found it very unique in itself. And as I mentioned, you know, when I was starting to show this deck, I was kind of like at the beginning thinking, what am I going to pair this with? It's going to be a difficult deck for me to really kind of like, you know, it wouldn't for me go with any of my collage oracles. Yeah, I just spent some time thinking, okay, but I still wanted it. I thought it would be a standalone deck, a deck which works best by itself. It doesn't need any others, or maybe I have to pair it with another tarot deck. But I did find a solution. I found several solutions, and this has got to be a deck that collaborates beautifully with other decks. I have to say, she is for me a deck which is friendly with other decks, which is just so unique, because originally when I saw her, I found her so whimsical. Now, I don't have any of the, I keep forgetting the name of the artist, but it's the Line Strider and the other kin. She's done quite a few decks. The name just has gone out of my head. That artist with those pastel colors, I think will go with this deck also very, very well. There's also some French oracle decks that come and go out of my mind. I think anything which is pastel-y, soft, not too busy, will go very, very well with this deck. And I'm going to show that in a moment. But yes, I was just absolutely amazed by her. I find that the images are wonderful. Now, there is one thing that I've picked up, which is that I don't think that it's very diverse. And you're going to say, how can that be? It's just black and white images. But the fascia is just not that diverse. And there's a few, but not that many different cultures in there. That's one thing. However, you know, some of them, you know, one wouldn't be able to tell. So it's varying. For me, I didn't feel that diversity, honestly speaking. And I have to say that, you know, I'm someone that will very quickly notice not in this deck, but in other decks, where really it's meant to be kind of somebody of an Asian descent. And I mean subcontinent India, you know, they're meant to be of that. It's kind of like trying to show that. And it's just really, for me, white features, Caucasian features, and some watercolor used. For me, I can spot it and I'm like, no. And so therefore I prefer it when artists are genuine to other cultures and actually make sure that the fascia represents those cultures. And I have to say that it's a really big part of this whole diversity thing. So this deck for me doesn't quite hit that mark. However, I didn't evaluate it from that basis. And so, you know, I've kind of like gone with it in terms of this for me has a very, can I say pagan vibe, but modern. It's got a very modern vibe to it as well. It's not all for me, you know, I'm not looking at it thinking I'm in prehistoric times, or in the 10th century, or I'm in the 18th century. For me, there are moments where this looks very modern. So it's kind of like, interesting. Okay. So it's kind of like a deck which is not really in a specific era. it's got some cultural connotations, but not overall. They're not heavy cultural connotations. And the artwork and the conveyance of the spirit and the meaning in each card, phenomenal. So it's a deck that to me will stand the test of time for sure. I think that if you are looking for a deck which is very clear, very calm, it's very calm, has a message but is not garbled with a lot of noise coming through, this is something that I would recommend. I see this as a keeper in my collection. I'm so glad I added her. The first time that I really noticed this deck, as in I'd seen it, but the first time I really paid attention to it was a channel called Ren. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the first name, but Ren showed this deck. I think it was in her If I Could Only Keep 10 video. I think this was in it. And that was when I was really impressed. Ren also has very sophisticated taste, I have to say that. But I really was very impressed by her evaluation of this deck and her thoughts on it. And it really piqued my interest. And I was like, okay, I have to give this a try. This has got to be, yes, also the very first black and white deck I've bought, except for the one that I just opened a few days ago, which was my El Goliath, which you all now know. But it was very strange because I'd bought that deck, but I hadn't opened it, of course. But this is the first deck that I bought, and I was just like black and white, and I was like, yes, this is it. You know, I want to work with her. I really can see myself as you know, and some people call it the archetypes. I can really see myself in the emotion of this deck. And yeah, she just is stunning. And now this card is magnificent. I think I've seen this card many times, and I think this was one of the cards that made me want to buy the deck. The power. Normally we see the person walking away, and this time they're walking towards us. So yeah, this deck has just amazing ways of people looking away, looking directions, and then coming towards us as well. And it's very strong in that kind of like component. This is a beautiful card. Really makes me feel as if like enjoying the things that we work for, and that to appreciate that and to love that and to be proud of that and to just soak it in. So yeah, I really enjoyed the messages from this deck. And you know, it's up to each person if they feel that they can work with this deck and how it's portraying things. For me, I love it. I absolutely adore it. Very storybook. It reminds me again of books that I read as a child. Very similar to, it's not the same artwork, but very similar in its vibe to the Rackham Tarot, the Rackham Oracle. They take me back to storytelling and story discovery. We talk a lot about storytelling, but story discovery as well. And I think Anna Turin has done an amazing job in conveying the elements, the power of the elements. Yeah, just, oh, that's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So yes, if you're somebody that's on the fence about this deck, I cannot recommend it enough. I think it is worth the investment of 25 euros. I don't know, maybe some people move it on. There'd be many other decks. If you asked me to move on, there'd be many other decks that I could list before I could put this on the list. So it wasn't one that I was sure that I would keep, but now that I have it, I'm not letting go of it. I haven't edged mine or anything. I'm not sure what to do in terms of edging because I don't want it to bleed onto the artwork. There's something that the artwork is just so stunning and beautiful in its own. Oh, see, there's diversity. And I think that's amazing because the artist is being true to the culture that they're depicting in that sense. For me, definitely. But what I want to say is that, you know, for me, if I edge this and if it bleeds through, I would feel a bit sick because the artwork is so gorgeous. So if you have any recommendations on how to edge this without botching it up, let me know. I would be really interested in your thoughts. But I love this deck, and I will be keeping her for sure. So let me show you some of the oracles that I paired it with. And before I move on, I just want to check my notes in case I've missed something. Yeah, it's the simplicity. I just want to say, you know, that, let me get another, I mean, look at that as well. I mean, the simplicity and the way he's coming, you see, most of the time we see people walking away in some of these cards and now they're coming towards us. But the simplicity of this deck just makes it, I don't know how to put it. Just, you know, it's a deck that I will want to pull out again and again. It's a bit similar to my connection with the Dreamkeeper's Tarot, which is still one of my soul decks. But it's a bit similar in its connection in the sense that I look forward to working with her again. That's the best way I'm going to put it. Okay, so now let me pull out all the decks that I kind of like have worked with this deck, and I mixed and matched quite a bit. So you can see from my Insta, if you've been following me there, the Sacred Creators Oracle. I bought it in the summer. Wow. This deck, Chris Ann just, yeah, I think she's done 4 decks. And now I realize Chris Ann for me is a creator that does it simple, but does it well. Like, not a plethora of decks, but the ones she's done, I think they're very true to her spirit. Yeah, I love creators where I can feel that they are really putting themselves in their deck and they're not doing it just, I need to churn out something and get it out there. I really, really love this. Now, this deck is so simple that when I was buying it, I was thinking, are you really spending that kind of money on a deck, which is like just pastels and like 3 words? Like, why? But I have absolutely loved working with Sacred Creators. I think it's a deck which needs patience, and this deck paired with others, 9 of Wands, and it says here the distraction of shiny things. This deck really it just brings out the best in another deck as well as itself. So what do we have here? We have the Ace of Wands, and here it's move beyond intention to belief. I mean, and then the key, and just look at this. That's stunning. Stunning in terms of its harmony. You are magic. And what have I got here? Ace of Cups. I mean, and just even how the symbols and the shapes are bouncing off each other. Just even now. And so I'd shown this, right? Moving on, 8 of Cups, and here it says, cut the cords of doubt. I mean, yeah, I did this all month. All of November, I did this kind of, you are the muse. You're the muse. And here, 9 of Cups. Oh, look at, I did this all month. Like, November was like my month where I had so much fun with my pairings. I mean, King of Cups, and it says here, your past supports your future. And look at that. And the King of Cups for me is always about having that ability not just to calm our emotions on the inside, but to bring that to the outside, to be offering that gift to the people around us. And look at that. Your past supports your future. Oh, okay, I have to stop. Otherwise, you're going to see me do this all the time and be like, just move on, please. So, okay. So after that excitement, let me show you how it works with Woodland Wardens. Now, this is by Jessica Rue. I picked this up in the summer for €9 on Amazon NL. It went up in price. It's dropped again, I believe. I believe it's back down to €9. It's bouncing around in price. This is the original. This is no copy. I do not buy fakes and all of that. I've said this to another tarot tuber we were discussing by message. I really believe when I buy fake that I'm gonna I'm cutting somebody else. Like, they're not gonna get the money, and I don't feel good. I just don't feel good within myself. So if I can't afford it, which sometimes definitely happens, I'm like, don't touch it. Not gonna happen. And and I believe that whatever I believe in, if I'm meant to have it, it will come into my life. If I can't afford it, it's fine. So anyway, this is the Woodland Wardens. Comes with this little guidebook. I didn't show you the Tarot of the Abyss guidebook. I'll come back to that in a moment. So yeah, just let me show you these beautiful. So yeah, look at these beautiful cards. You know what I'm going to do, because I know this video is going to get really long. I will come back and do the guidebooks to these decks, except for the Tarot of the Abyss. For the oracles, I'll do it separately. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. So otherwise, we'll just never get past this. But look at these beautiful, beautiful cards. They're so gentle. And I have to say one thing, the guidebook to this deck is just amazing. It's so good. So I definitely recommend, these are the backs as well. This is such a gentle deck. I think this is an all year round deck. I think it would go stunning in the spring, in the summer, in the autumn, and in the winter. This would go so well with the Hush Tarot Beauty. I've seen some people chop off the borders. I think this deck needs its borders because it's part of the beauty of the deck. So yes. So anyway, what do we have here? We have the Beaver and the Birch Home, and I have the Queen of Cups. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, do another one. The Moth and the Eucalyptus, an ending. And I have here the Knight of Cups. Oh, wow. And the Knight of Cups for me is very close to death, because in the traditional way it's done with the RWS. It's just gorgeous. Hold on a second. Sorry, I've got lots of reminders popping up right now, so let me do another one. The Oz and the Cattail, Peace. Oh, and what do I have here? Six of Cups. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? How that okay, so this is a tough one. The Deer and the Oak, healing, and oh, I kid you not, Five of Cups. Needing to see what we have instead of, the sadness of what we've lost. And it says healing. Just, I can't help it. Yeah, so you can see I had a lot of fun with that one. Okay, now I'm going to move on. Otherwise we'll never get there. Okay, so let me show you another one, which is an indie oracle. It's my Faceted Garden. Now, I also have the Earthbound Oracle, but this is the one that's just, oh, I love this deck. So with this one, and by the way, I mixed it all up as well. So I'd have the Tarot of the Abyss and then two of my oracles, so just so you know, I've been playing a lot with this stuff. But so here we have gemstones, and here I have 10 of Cups. Oh, just look at that. Just beautiful, right? So yeah, just again, just really well done. Okay, so let's see. What do I have here? Morning Song and Page of Cups. Oh, wow, look at that. The ideas that we have coming in and inspiration. And it says here, Morning Song. This is just such a beautiful deck. Fountain. Oh, I kid you not. Now you're going to see it. Two of Cups. Oh, just the synchronicity is just gorgeous with all of these decks. So Anna Turin has created a deck that just goes with a lot of other stuff. I can't help it. And then finally, I want to show you two decks which are sat on my shelf, and then with the Tarot of Abyss, they flourished. So it's my Animal Spirits and my Goddess Knowledge cards. This is Susan Seddon-Boulay, which I understand now sadly she's passed away. These decks are available again mass market. I bought them around the €9 mark. They're now around 15 euros. Please, please, please. They are so worth it. They are just amazing cards. I know sometimes people only have one. I love them both. Today I'm going to show you with the Goddess Knowledge cards. I also love the animal ones. I'll show you with one. I want to make sure I don't mix them up because I like them keeping them separate. But I love this deck. So this is how they look with the explanation in the back. If you want a separate video on these two, I can do that as well. So look at these. Now I know that there's a Janto deck, a goddess deck, which is stunning. And a lot of people crop off the borders because they're huge borders. I believe these also serve, and they're very similar, and they serve an amazing purpose. The artwork is just, now this is pre-existing artwork, and then goddesses have been added on. So just be mindful of that. But these are gorgeous. So let me just show you how they can go together. So this is the Ace of Pentacles, and this is the triple goddess Hecate. Look at that. Which one is this one? Epona. So this is the horse goddess, I was going to say, to do with the word I'm looking for, equine. I'm trying to look for it here as well. But you know what I'm talking about. But it's to do with horses. And she, I'm just reading the back. Sorry, I got caught up reading the back. But this, and then look at this one here, the King of Pentacles. They just, you know, again, these decks, they just, oh, wow, look at that. There's Pegasus, Medusa, and then Pegasus. And I'm just showing you. And then let me just do another one. Okay, so this one is Rhiannon, Welsh goddess, death. There is no death without regeneration. And I say that with the 10 of swords here. How stunning. They just go so well together. Which one is this one? Hold on a second, let me just show you. Okay, I can never pronounce this. Tazoltitl, it's a Toltec earth mother. And she's known for basically taking away our impurities. And we have 7 of swords. Wow, look at that. So, yeah, I can go on and on. But yes, I go to my Insta if you want to see more of these pairings that I was doing. Thoroughly enjoyed working with the Tarot of Abyss. She is a beauty. She is a deck. Hold on a second. Let me just get that. Oh, no. Let me pick up these ones instead because you've seen those. She is a beauty. She was worth my 25 euros. I think I'm going to get her back out again in 2022. I think she'd go so well with Tarot of Hidden Realm now that I'm thinking out loud. Decks which are gentle, which have fine artwork, or decks which are very calming, not too heavy on the artwork. Here. Aces, fill your cup with giggles. That's what it says there. And here's another one. Let me just do another one quickly. 5 of Swords. Ooh. 5 of Swords. And what does this one say? Fierce expression. So don't trap ourselves. Don't trap ourselves by fighting something that we shouldn't be. Yeah, just such a good 6 of Swords. What have I got here? Welcome to the Divine Masculine. And yeah, I think what I need to do now that I'm looking at it is do a separate video for these oracles, because these oracle decks, all of the ones I've just showed you, I do not want to let them go. They're keepers for my collection. There are times when I've worked with a deck and I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to pass it on. They're not going, none of what I've showed you is going anywhere. I'm so happy I have these, you know, and I always build everything up slowly. So as I've mentioned before, you know, at the right beginning of this video, especially because of the difficult times many of us worldwide are going through, please don't think you have to go out and buy all of this. That's not what this message is about. It's about, you know, seeing if we have 1 or 2 decks, what we can harmonize and how we can use them, right? So we use what we have on our shelves. I had bought the Tarot of Abyss in December of 2021. I've just used it for November 2022, and everything else has come into my collection over the course of the year. So this was not about buying a deck and then buying another 10 decks to go with it in one go. So again, you know, I'm always about whatever you've got on your shelf, play first with whatever you've got before you go out and buy something. That's my tip. But other than that, because we're at 30 minutes, I'm going to stop here. Let me just pull out a card to end on, you know, a beautiful card. And why not? I've just pulled out the Lovers. A beautiful card to end on. This deck is just gorgeous. It is every element done beautifully with just this muted black and white color palette, and you know, a well-known indie creator creating a mass market deck, which for me is, it might as well have been an indie deck. That's how beautiful and great it is. I'm very happy. I should just say quickly before I forget, shall we just do, yeah, we're at 30 minutes, but I'm going to do it. I think it's the right thing to do. On the strength card, I will give you what the guidebook says, so everybody gets a flavor. So let's go to the strength card, because that's what we began with. So Lovers, Chariot, Strength. So you get about this much of a card, any card, even the minus. Strength, what it says here is, this card depicts a woman and her trusted companion, the Lion. It is an unusual alliance, not something that just anyone could master. Relinquishing your fear is key, as the great beast can smell fear. The woman's hands holds the giant lion gently, a subtle hint at the power she possesses over this creature. She is calm, yet her gaze is steady as she becomes aware of our presence. In a way, she resembles her predator friend, on guard and perceptive of her surroundings. Her clothes are plain. There are no hints of worldly treasures. Her riches cannot be bought. They come from her abilities and her inner strength of character. She has mastered her emotions and conquered her anxieties. All the tools she needs to take on challenges are within her. Sorry about that. The lion is a symbol of what we fear the most, and she has mastered that fear through equilibrium and inner strength. The strength card appears when we need to take control of our internal environment. It's not a card about physical strength or any external influences that can be manipulated or controlled. It calls us to focus inwardly, to look deeply at those internal securities that cause us to doubt our own abilities. The greatest saboteur often lurks within. Remain fixed in your confidence, and you will hold the reins to your emotions as the woman holds the dominion over the lion. Yeah, I think Anna Turin has done a great job of giving each card in such a small amount. I really want to go back and actually give you videos on all of the oracles I just showed you, because I've just realized I haven't done them justice in just this video, but I wanted to show you the pairings. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you all a wonderful weekend wherever you are, and until next time, which is another Yule Oracle countdown video I've got coming up. Until next time, I will see you again soon. Have a lovely weekend. Take care now. Bye.